New information about two plane crashes just hours apart. Insight into the final moments before the first plane went down. What we know about the pilot in the other plane. Then the Carolina Hurricanes are continuing their quest for the Cup in Florida. WRAL is there live with what's at stake in tonight's matchup.
This cooler spring weather isn't over yet. I've got the timeline for when comfortable and dry days turn cooler and wet. Well, right now we are less than an hour from puck drop as the Canes look for a comeback against the Panthers in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. The team is coming off back-to-back losses at PNC Arena, hoping for a turnaround in this series and their quest for Stanley Cup. Thank you for joining us. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. They need this one tonight, Deb.
Big time.
So we have live team coverage for you. A lot riding on tonight's game. Brett Neese is at a watch party here at home as fans hope to cheer the team on to a win.
Let's begin with Casey Hintz in Sunrise, Florida, where the action starts soon. Casey, you spoke with head coach Rod Brindamore about an hour ago.
Yeah, Deborah, and you guys talking about, of course, they need this win. And yes, there's going to be a level of desperation here tonight as they're in this 0-2 hole. But they kind of always play with that desperation in their game. And I spoke to Hurricanes defenseman Brett Pesce this morning. He said, look, we've been through adversity all season long, and we've done a really good job of just staying in the present. And when I asked Roddy about that, he kind of echoed those same messages.
Alrighty, well, Rod, this is the first time this postseason that your guys have faced this kind of adversity. Panic mode would be to change some things up, but the guys I spoke to this morning said deviating from the game is exactly what you guys don't want to do.
No, we've played pretty well. I mean, we're a bounce away here or there from being up 2-0, and we know that. We know what kind of game we have to play. We're not going to change anything. Can we even be sharper with it? I mean, that's really what this is about. Win a few more puck battles, get to the net a little harder, maybe bounce one of these in that we haven't been able to put in. But we certainly aren't going to be changing too much.
Mm-hmm. This feels like the third straight year you guys have run into a hot Russian netminder. You've talked a lot about, what you guys can do to make things difficult for him. Marty Nate just said, maybe you just get one in and maybe we can relax a little bit. Is that can frustration from not breaking through lead to lack of confidence? There's
definitely a level of that. I mean, you're doing your best you can, and we're getting opportunities. That's just going to lead to frustration. That's human nature. So we just got to, like I said, it'd be nice if we could get a couple. But if it doesn't happen, you can't get frustrated. You just have to stick to what you're doing and try not to let it affect any other part of our game.
This core group has been in this position before in 2019 and 2021. You've talked a lot about just learning to win over these last 5 years. Does that kind of fall into that too, as this group not looking at the deficit and really embracing that just win one here tonight?
Yeah, well, experience obviously matters. We've been through this as a group, so you're going to lean on that, no doubt about it. That's why it's not the time to panic. It's not time to change things up. We know what we have to do as a group. Obviously, it's not going to be easy. Climbing the mountain's not easy. There's going to be bumps in the road here, so it's just a matter of trying to get back on track here and use that experiences that we've had and go after it.
Now, this is the first time in Stanley Cup playoff history that the first 4 games in either the Eastern and Western Conference Finals has gone to overtime. I asked Roddy, hopefully we don't have a late one here tonight. He said, look, I'll take it as late as we can possibly get it as long as we walk away with the W.
As long as they're a win, I think all the Caniacs would agree with you. Casey Hintz live in Florida. Thank you, Casey. And fans are rallying behind their Canes from the Triangle. WRAL's Brett Neese joins us live from Sports and Social Carry. One of the many watch parties getting underway tonight. Brett?
Yeah, Deborah, a lot of them around town, and I got all kinds of fans here, right? Let's go, Canes! Let's go, Canes! Let's go, Canes! Come on, people! This is where I'm going to have all kinds of friends here hanging out, cheering on our Canes. We're getting a big win tonight, aren't we? Yes, a big Game 3 win tonight. That's what we're going to cheer them on to. We're getting more hockey here back in Carolina. We're at least taking 1, if not 2, down there in Florida. And these fans are ready for it, Deborah.
Gotta love that enthusiasm. Brett Neese live in Cary. Thank you, Brett. Now, right after tonight's game, WRAL has the exclusive post-game show. See all the highlights, hear reaction from players and fans, and analysis from WRAL Sports on where the series stands heading into Game 4.
All right, Deborah, right now in the WRAL Live Center, we've just got our hands on a 67-page lawsuit. It is a First Citizens Bank lawsuit, $1 billion over the Silicon Valley Bank employees. There was a lot of underdealings there, saying that some of those employees had resignations and they left, and all of this was orchestrated or put in place without First Citizens Bank knowing exactly what was going on with some of those employees. So again, it's a $1 billion lawsuit just filed. We're working our way through that to figure out the meaning this means going forward. What's the next steps here? We'll certainly keep you updated and get that story updated on WRAL.com. Back to you.
Interesting. All right, Mark, thank you. Tonight, we're learning new information about 2 plane crashes in our area, just hours apart. 911 calls are being revealing now. More about the moments before that first plane went down in Orange County, killing 1 person. Officials have released more information about a pilot severely burned in a Warren County plane crash. WRAL's Destiny Patterson was at the scene today, where federal investigators have taken over.
There's still that burning smell in the air, and the wreckage is still here where that plane crashed. At this point, we don't know the identity of the pilot, but we do know that he's from Warren County. The Federal Aviation Administration was at the No Carva Airport in Macon, North Carolina, snapping photos and surveying the damage left behind from a fiery plane crash.
I've been with the Warren County Sheriff's Office for 25 years, and this is probably only the second crash that I've heard of in Warren County.
Sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and EMS crews rushed to the scene after a plane crashed and burst into flames. It happened Sunday afternoon just before 3 o'clock. Authorities tell me it was bystanders who pulled the victim from the wreckage.
A sad situation when this happens, small-knit community.
Fire Chief Robbie Ross was on the scene as crews put out the fire.
45 minutes to extinguish it.
Ross says the victim was the first priority. The pilot was then rushed to the hospital with severe burns.
I did suffer, I believe, over 100% of the body burns.
I'm told the plane was taking off from this airstrip, and it didn't get far before it ended up between these trees. Now the FAA and the NTSB are investigating what caused that crash.
We just hope we could have done more.
In the wake of this tragedy, he says he's offering his thoughts and prayers to the victim's family. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Warren County.
Meantime, the FAA's preliminary report on a plane crash in Orange County has been released now. The report says the cause of the crash is unknown, and they confirmed that the plane caught fire after it crashed. The pilot was the only person on board and died. Aviation attorney James Krause tells WRAL the final report on the cause of the crash could actually take up to a year to be released.
Unfortunately, in general aviation, we don't have what you often hear on major airline disasters, the black boxes, the digital flight data recorder, which records various parameters of what's going on with the aircraft itself.
Emergency responder radio traffic is showing a woman called 911 after seeing the small plane having trouble before it went down.
A local nurse is going to prison for stealing painkillers intended for surgery patients and replacing the vials with saline. Melissa Chacona was sentenced to 4 years and 3 years supervised release after pleading guilty to the charges. The 45-year-old was a nurse at a Raleigh area surgical practice, according to court documents. In 2019, Chacona began extracting medications like fentanyl and morphine and replacing it with saline. She compromised nearly 80 vials. Chacona's plea agreement requires permanent surrender of her nursing license. A 12-year-old is facing charges after police say the boy robbed a woman of her cell phone in Charlotte. His 6-year-old brother was also involved. Police say this is the gun the 12-year-old pointed at the woman at an apartment complex yesterday morning. It looks like a real gun, but officers say it is actually a BB gun. Police said the 2 boys asked to use the woman's cell phone to call their mom. Instead, they ran away with the phone. When she tried getting it back, police say the 12-year-old pointed the gun at her.
Today, Governor Roy Cooper gave an unusual online speech to warn that public education in North Carolina is facing what he called a state of emergency. Cooper said Republican lawmakers are backing proposals that would severely cut public school funding. The Senate budget would expand the state's school voucher program by hundreds of millions of dollars and open it up to any family in the state who wants to send their child to a private or religious school, no matter how much money the family makes.
When kids leave public schools for private schools, the public schools lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And while they hand out private school vouchers to millionaires, they also want to give them large tax breaks too.
Cooper also said the Senate proposal to cut income taxes by nearly half over the next few years would leave the state without the money it will need to run schools and increase teacher salaries. He urged viewers to call their lawmakers and tell them to oppose these ideas. A spokesman for Senate Leader Phil Berger called Cooper's speech a, quote, meaningless publicity stunt.
Many of you are already looking ahead to the holiday weekend, and we're tracking rain and cooler temperatures. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Kat, this doesn't look like a weekend washout, at least.
That's correct, Deborah. And, we will do our best in the coming days, since we're still a ways away from the weekend, to really pinpoint the hour-by-hour rain timeline and help you plan around the rain and make the most of those drier periods of time. Right now, Saturday looks the wettest, a 60% chance for rain, 40% on Sunday, and Memorial Day, a 20% chance for rain. Here's what we're looking at on Futurecast. We've got an area of low pressure in the lower and upper levels of the atmosphere working together to steer waves of rain inland as we head into the weekend hours. Saturday does look like it's going to be the wettest day of the weekend. It's also going to be cooler this weekend. I'll have a closer look at the temperature forecast coming up.
All right, Kat, thank you. And still to come tonight, we have 2 recall alerts to share.
Yeah, coming up, why a waffle maker and glass candles from Target are being recalled. And they're spotted, they're red, and they're invasive. Coming up, the damage these bugs can cause and what North Carolina agricultural officials want you to do if you spot one.
An important recall alert to tell you about tonight. Nearly 500,000 waffle makers are being recalled after more than 30 people were burned. We're talking about these Power XL waffle makers by Empower Brands. The company has received 44 reports of issues with them, with 34 resulting in burns and 3 people needing medical attention. The hot pieces of the waffle or stuffing can eject out of the waffle makers either during cooking or opening the iron, according to the report. Nearly 5 million candles sold at Target are being recalled because they can break while being used. There have been 137 reports of threshold glass jar candles breaking, according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Now, 6 of those times, someone was cut or severely burned. These candles in various sizes and scents were sold between August 2019 and March 2023. Find a full list of the candles being recalled, plus details about how to get your refund for this and other recalls. 5 on Your Side is reported on WRAL.com. Just search recall.
2 police departments in our area have a way for Hyundai and Kia owners to protect their cars. Chapel Hill PD and Fuquay-Varina PD are offering free steering wheel locks. Hyundais and Kias are being targeted nationwide because of issues with the car's anti-theft technology. The issues led to a $200 million settlement last week. The companies are providing software updates to fix that problem. Steering wheel locks would add even more peace of mind. People living in Chapel Hill and Fuquay-Varina can stop by the police headquarters to pick up a wheel lock if they'd like. They're available first come, first served. Today is the official start of North Carolina's Memorial Day Click It or Ticket campaign, and that means more law enforcement will be out on the roads. Memorial Day is one of the deadliest times on North Carolina roads. The goal of this campaign is to get everyone to just wear their seatbelts. State and local officials reinforced the message this morning at an event aboard the USS North Carolina Battleship Memorial in Wilmington. Click It or Ticket runs through June 4th.
The spotted lanternfly is popping up again across North Carolina, and experts want you to squash them when you see them. Agriculture officials sent an alert today saying the bugs are starting to hatch. The bug is an invasive species and it damages plants, people, and property. This is video of what the spotted lanternfly looks like, and since there are no natural predators in the U.S., experts say the best way to get rid of them is to squash them. The Ocracoke Express is getting back on the water. The ferry's summer schedule will begin tomorrow. This will be the 5th season of the ferry service between Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands. It can carry up to 129 passengers on each of its 3 daily round trips.
A beautiful shot of Raleigh behind me here. You see the sun as it's setting, just kind of the rays poking through the clouds. Just gorgeous. It's been a beautiful day. We have more of those in stores. Meteorologist Kat Campbell joins us now. I'm focused on the weekend, though. We do have a little bit of rain in the forecast.
We do. Unfortunately, we get all these nice days during the week, and then once we get to the weekend, things take a turn. But this week, low humidity, comfortable temperatures, spring weather, it's hanging on. I'll take it as long as we can. 77 right now at the DBAP in Durham. The college baseball championship games and playoffs kick off there tomorrow. In Raleigh at the WRAL Azalea Garden, 77 degrees right now. And in Fayetteville at the WRAL Fayetteville Newsroom, sitting at 80 this afternoon. Spring weather holding on, as I mentioned. We've got below normal temperatures expected all week long in the entire 7-day forecast. 81, our normal high this time of year. We were in the low 80s this afternoon, so right on par today. Once we get to tomorrow through Thursday, a cooling northeast wind keeps highs in the mid to upper 70s, but it's still going to be nice outside. Friday and Saturday, though, since it's late May, it's going to be a little chilly. High temperatures only reach the lower 70s and just 70 degrees the high on Saturday. Likely cloud cover and some of that rain I mentioned. We haven't hit 90 degrees so far this year, and that's somewhat unusual. We average about 2 days in the 90s during the month of May at RDU, and we're running late. The normal first 90-degree day of the year is May 11th. So let's take a look at the temperature outlook, and I want to go up to jet stream levels here to give you an idea of what to expect this week. So what we've got going on is by the middle and end of the week, we see an area of low pressure, this dip in the jet stream starting to dive to the south, and with it we have that cooling northeast wind in place, and that's going to pull in some air from Canada. That same dip in the jet stream, it may actually cut off into its own low pressure system here over the southeast that just sits and spins. And when you see these systems cut off from the jet stream, it's difficult to get them to actually move out of here because you don't have the jet stream to push them on along. So that could lead to an extended period of cloud cover and some rain as well. Enjoy this nice weather while you can. Tomorrow, high temperatures range from the mid 70s in Roxborough to about 80 in Fayetteville. It's partly cloudy and it ends up being a gorgeous day and a really nice day for baseball. As I mentioned, ACC Baseball Championship happening in Durham for the first pitch at 7 o'clock, NC State versus Duke, 71 degrees, and by 9 o'clock, 66. 3 o'clock tomorrow, UNC taking on Georgia Tech, and the first pitch, 78 degrees there. Mostly cloudy during the afternoon tomorrow, but it's a lot of the upper level clouds in place. I will say it is going to be fairly breezy, a northeast wind, a cooling wind around 10 to 15 miles per hour. We could see some gusts, 20 to 25. So it's a good day if you're looking for something fun to do with the kids. Maybe take them out, let them fly a kite. A good day for that. Temperatures this week should be very comfortable for the next 3 days. I should mention there's a 20% chance for rain Wednesday. That would mainly be in our southern counties and closer to the coast. Once we get to Friday night, rain chances start to climb. About a 40% chance Friday night. Saturday and Sunday are the best chances for rain for the holiday weekend. Monday, just a 20% chance the way it looks right now, but Saturday does look the wettest. Maybe tough to find a dry period of time then, but we're still a ways away, so we'll keep an eye on the town-by-town rain totals and the hour-by-hour timeline.
We'll keep checking in with you. Thanks, Kat.
Well, a big win for the little guy coming up, the accomplishment by Appalachian Mountain Brewery and its importance to North Carolina.
A quick update right now in the Live Center about that plane crash in Orange County that we told you about at the top of the newscast. We have some new information, and we do have scene video as well we can show you. The new information includes the identity of the pilot. According to this report, the pilot has been identified as 68-year-old John Bofinger of New Jersey, the only person believed to be on that plane when it went down over the weekend. The Highway Patrol is providing security there as well at the scene, and this investigation is likely to take months. The FAA and the NTSB all involved. John Bofinger is the victim in this case. We'll update that story on our website as well as we get new information as the investigation continues.
All right, Mark, thank you. The ACC baseball tournament is all set for the Durham Bulls Athletic Park this week, and all the action begins tomorrow.
12 teams in the ACC taking part in this tournament. Starts off with pool play. So each team plays every other team in their pool. The team with the best record at the end of that pool play of the 4-team single elimination tournament will move on in advance. It starts on Saturday. Wake Forest is #1 in Pool A. UNC is in Pool B with Virginia and Georgia Tech, and NC State and Duke both in Pool D with Miami. Tomorrow, UNC plays Georgia Tech to start things off at 3 p.m. And right after that, NC State will play Duke. Tickets are available if you'd like to show some support. DurhamBulls.com or by calling into the box office. A North Carolina craft brewery bought itself back from the big guys.
This is pretty cool. You may have heard of Appalachian Mountain Brewery. It's based in Boone, but the beer is sold all over North Carolina. A&B is also the brewery behind the Bojangles Hard Sweet Tea. In 2021, the brewery expanded with Anheuser-Busch, the company behind Bud Light, Michelob, and others. Well, now A&B is ending that partnership. It's the first craft brewery to buy themselves back from Anheuser-Busch.
How about that?
Well, the nation is watching to find out who will be the voice champion this season.
Tonight, the popular show season 23 finale kicks off right here on WRAL. The 5 remaining talented artists will showcase their skills in front of a world-famous panel of coaches. And keep this in mind, this marks country star Blake Shelton's final appearance on the show. He's been such a staple with that show for a long time, and tonight he calls it quits. So stay with us for the 2-part finale. The first of the 2 parts here on WRAL starts at 8 o'clock and continues tomorrow night, same time, same place.
That's going to be fun to watch.
I know. A local version of Dancing with the Stars is just a few days away.
Yeah, 5 on your sides. Kaylee Arthur will be participating in the Dancing with the Carolina Stars this year. The event benefits the Carolina Theater. This year's contestants include elected officials, veterans of the stage, and prominent business owners, not to mention many professional dancers. Dancing with the Carolina Stars happens Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Carolina Theater. Tickets are still available.
She looks like she knows what she's doing.
She's a professional.
Unbelievable. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Good night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.